everyone, Lee Pacchia here, and you are watching The Business of Law, the only web TV show focusing on both the challenges and the opportunities facing the legal profession. We're doing a deep dive into the real estate space today. I'm happy to say my guest is Phil Rosen, partner from Weil Gotshal Manges, who just flew in from London to come into the studio. Full disclosure, Weil Gotshal Manges is a client of our sister organization, Mimesis Law. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So you guys in the green room sound like you're exceptionally busy. What's keeping the phones ringing?
The thing that's attracted the most attention is we recently closed the 4th out of the 5 largest industrial deals in history. Mm-hmm. This one was a $6 billion sale by our client KTR to Prologis of about 50 million square feet of industrial space around the country. Mm. Largest deal so far closed in 2015.
So this was one of 4 going back to when, and where specifically are these deals located?
So the assets are all across the country. The deals, I would say, started about a year and a half ago. Mm. And from that point until today, there have been 4 deals that we've done in the space. There was a 5th that we didn't get. Pisses me off, but
that's life.
That's life. So we did 4 out of the 5, and all successful, and all very happy clients.
So what's driving these deals? You were mentioning before that this is really more about e-commerce than the state of industrial America. Could you unpack that a little bit for us?
So, we've had 2 stages so far of the e-commerce transition and the transition away from the mall and the retail sector, the strip mall, and the retail business being a mall-based business. The first stage was e-commerce at the initial stages, where everybody was real excited about the fact that they could buy online. That didn't take over the retail space as much as people thought it would, primarily in my mind, because there's no instant gratification when you buy online. Most recently, instant gratification has entered the online retail space, and it's created a whole upheaval of the retail economy. It's amazing that you have an enormous number of strip malls and second-grade and third-grade malls going out of business. And there's even websites that list I think there's a website called deadmalls.com, mm-hmm. which lists the malls that are going out of business. And this stage, the reason it's instant gratification is that I guess Amazon started it by promising 2-day delivery rather than 4, 5, 6-day delivery. Amazon Prime. Now they have a new Amazon Prime, which is really only in cities like New York, Los Angeles, Miami, where they promise delivery within hours, in some cases 1 to 2 hours. Mm. So the instant gratification that you used to have in the mall business, because you would see the product, you'd look at it, buy it, wear it, or take it home.
So is that the trend now? I mean, we're seeing online retailers move to a world where they want to be able to deliver primarily in the world's money centers and large cities within a matter of hours. That necessarily requires them to rejigger their real estate holdings and infrastructure.
That's exactly right.
The trend that we're facing here? And whereabouts are we in that timeline? Is this something that's just beginning now, or?
It really is just the start. I think the industrial sector, as I mentioned to you before, was the red-haired stepchild of the real estate industry. The only people who went into the industrial sector were people who built or bought their own manufacturing plants and used the additional space for storage, inventory storage. So you had a zipper manufacturer in Long Island City who had his manufacturing plant and the warehouse for storage that was it. That was industrial space. What you have now is you have a tremendous boom in the pricing and the value of industrial space for two reasons. One is a lot of the industrial space is being converted to residential housing, and it's all across New York City in every borough, and that's a tremendous boom in the value of this industrial space. Number two is that many of the online retailers need their warehouses, storage, distribution centers to be closer and to be easy access to the highways so that they can deliver it quicker. And it's an unbelievable change. It's instant gratification moving from the shopping mall to online retail.
So you outlined two trends there, and it sounds like one is much younger than the other. That is to say that what we've been seeing play out in the dynamic between industrial space converting into residential, that's been going on. I've been living in Brooklyn for a while now. That's been happening at least 10 years by my vantage point. This trend, however, about e-commerce companies moving into industrial space in big cities like New York to create logistics hubs to deliver stuff more quickly, that strikes me as something that's a little bit younger on the trend timeline. How do you see this playing out? Are we going to get to a point where companies like eBay and Amazon are actively competing and pricing out developers that want to convert, say, the zipper factory into condos?
So it's a great question. I don't think so, because I think the locale and the needs of each of those groups is different. The Amazon needs access to a highway so that they can deliver it quickly, need access to a main road. They don't necessarily need a view. While residential space, they'd love to have a view of a river, a view of the city of New York, the skyline, whatever it takes to deliver something that's special. They don't. The industrial companies, the online retailers don't need special. They need access. And so for them, locale is important, but a different locale. The other point is that if you go up and down the New Jersey highways, you'll find an enormous number of online retailers, distribution centers right next to the highway. And that was stage one. Stage two means they're moving even closer to New York. You had big industrial spaces sold in the Bronx recently. You had a giant industrial space being developed in Harlem. Places where you would never imagine, pricing being as strong as it is. It's just moving through the roof. And you're right, it is an early stage. I think that's going to continue. And I think as the competitors of Amazon and the other online retailers promise quicker delivery time, you're going to see prices continue to go up.
So you talked about two stages that you're seeing play out over the longer term in real estate. I was wondering if you could take us 2 to 3 years out and talk to us about what stage 3 looks like.
So in my mind, right now, online sales is something like 10% of the retail market, up obviously from zero just a few years back. Do we get to 50%? No. I think what ends up happening is that the strong malls get stronger and stronger. The weak malls either disappear or are transitioned into something else.
There's a lot of those properties.
There are a lot of those properties.
Yeah, that's not going to be a small undertaking.
It's not that's a giant transition. One other thing is that the retail, the grocery and drug anchored strip malls continue to be strong because those are products that everybody needs, and they need it instantly. That's not something you could wait even a day for. So those malls will continue to do well, and I anticipate maybe even better than expected. And you see that right now throughout the retail sector. It's a fascinating transition, but it has its limits as to how far they can go to make a dent into the retail sector.
Phil, thanks so much for stopping by.
Thank you, Lee. I really enjoyed it.
That's Phil Rosen from Weil Gotshal Manges. If you'd like to see more of the stuff we're working on, be sure to go check us out online. You can find us at mimesislaw.com. You can also find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. I'm Lee Pacchia. Thanks for watching.